instantly. Do you think we'll see a different draft here, or do you think that Hydra Nation will just pop right out with that same thing? I mean, we're about to see here.
Well, when we think about Hydra Nation, when I've seen them draft, if they don't ban Viscous, they could pick it. And if they pick Viscous, I know that me and Captain Etsoka, when we last casted over this team, we agreed Hydra Nation has probably the best supports, like the roamers, the people who really know how to gank and do early game business so beautifully. If they get Viscous, it's GG. They banned Viscous. They locked in Paradox. They're going to be running it back. They have the same mentality. They're going to be doing it. The only thing is Revival can stop their plan by just picking the characters that they wanted to pick.
Yeah. For Revival, I have a feeling they're going to try and play upset. If not this game, they're going to do a game 2. They're just going to be like, hey, we know what comp you're going to run. We're just going to be annoying. Here's the deal. To give Revival a little benefit of the doubt, I love the fact that you gave him 35%. I'll give him 10%. And the reason I say that is if they get a victory, it is 100% going to be because of one small mistake. It is going to be Hydra Nation getting overconfident. They leave a window of opportunity, and it's just like the rundown. Because Revival have this ability to stall out games and feels like they always have a way to fight back in unlikely scenarios. They have what I like to call the power of freaking friendship on their side, and they go ahead and take the Mirage as well, but it's just like, if a victory comes out, Revival are going to do it in one of the most unlikely ways imaginable.
True. I honestly, seeing the Mirage get locked in, that's one character that absolutely popped off in that upper finals here for Hydra Nation. So seeing them, Revival, sniping the Mirage could lead in their favor, as Hydra Nation has one big heavy hitter gone from their, hero pool. But Hydra Nation knows how to flex, Okay, you can have my Mirage. All right, I pick Haze. All right, I pick Wraith. Okay, I pick Infernus. Whatever. That's the thing that I see these teams going to be going for.
Yeah, both teams are already showcasing a lot of respect here in this final series, in this first draft, as they're taking their time with these. I think the first 2 drafts we kind of saw bam, 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 bam out from either side. They really knew they wanted to go for their comfort picks. They wanted to just get into that game and play the best possible game they could. But now they've got the opportunity to kind of try some of these strategies in there. Finally, we get an Infernus out here, and Hydra Nation, it's 2 dominant DPS picks, but there's an Abrams for some control, for some tank, for some rotation as well. We're definitely seeing Hydra. I feel like we're watching Hydra Nation show a little respect to Revival right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Abrams. That's a certified earned carrier if they ever need it. Based on that last game, that's what Abrams has been chalked up to. He's either just a big bullet sponge, an earned carrier, or he punches you to death. One of the 3. But honestly, seeing the Infernus get locked in as a response to the Mirage get taken, we know what Hydra Nation's thinking. They just want to do high damage. They just want to win.
I'm actually also surprised that I think Revival are going to grab this. There it is. I was about to say the Kelvin actually dropping down to pick 6 was kind of interesting to me, because again, we've seen Kelvin actually be high prio for a lot of the other teams, and the fact that Revival, I think they're actually a little bit scared from the previous game. They picked it B1 and then immediately got decimated in the early stages. Remember, the Kelvin got sniped about 3 or 4 times in the early game. We're just like, this sucks for the Kelvin player. The fact that it dropped back down means that they did prioritize the damage, which hopefully means the Kelvin has a little bit better time. That's what I'm really looking at there. So Revival have learned from their previous matches and said, okay, we give a little bit more time towards the DPS, make sure to ensure that, make sure the Kelvin isn't forced into these scenarios where you are the biggest playmaker without any follow-up behind.
Well, and I love this Kelvin pick as well in response to the Infernus. I know I spent a tremendous amount of time talking about the Kelvin in the previous draft as well, but he did end up going 0-3 so far on the day, but that's been as a first pick. I think coming out here, like you said, in the pick 6, he's going to be able to clamp down on a Paradox, an Infernus, and an Abrams. I think that's a really good pick there. And on top of that, he's going to be able to clamp down on a Lash. So, yeah, I think that Kelvin might be able to see his first win of the day, but again, Hydra Nation is still setting up for a lot of damage and mobility.
Hold on. Give respect to Kelvin. He won last game, didn't he? What you talking about? Did he lose?
Wait, did he win? Oh, he was on Revival's side. You're right. I'm so sorry. I'm just way off here.
Listen, I know I can yell about the Kelvin all day long, but we still put respect to respect is earned, okay?
Yeah,
You
even
are
if
correct.
he started off 1-5, even if he fed like he worked for FEMA, even if that was the case, he still won. You have to give him credit. He still got his participation medal for being on this team. All right, but looking at that in the late game, he did do a lot of great stuff. He helped his team reposition. He played really well in the late game with the earn plays. If you remember the second to last team fight, setting his team up that ramp, getting the high ground with that earn, dropping down and winning the fight. Kelvin was the character to really add that verticality. So seeing the Ivy getting locked in to really help them out as well, things are looking okay. So we'll put some respect on the Kelvin's name until this game actually plays through. Afterwards, we can melt this guy's ice cap.
Okay, yes, I take that back. My apologies. Way off my rocker there with that comment. But still, I'm still excited. Everything else I said still stands. Kelvin is very excited to play against those 4 players and is going to be a big playmaker against this lineup for Hydra Nation. Dynamo, though. Dynamo is going to be a lot of catch for all these slippery guys on the Revival side, don't you think?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, bringing in the Dynamo. This is a very similar team composition. We're missing the Mirage, we're missing the Ivy, but overall, I think they're going to be bringing a lot of good pain. The question now is, what is the final pick here for Hydra Nation? What's the final pick for Revival? Revival locking in the 7 to add some damage. The Wraith to be that third DPS that we were looking for. Definitely going to help out. But honestly, Hydra Nation, if I didn't know anything about this team, I like Revival's team comp, but I still like Hydra Nation's more. Paradox, Infernus, Abrams, Dynamo. That's it. Those 4 characters are all you need.
Yeah,
Okay, but
Oh yeah.
who's our 12th? who's our 12th pick? Before you jump into that orbital. Okay, never mind. Tell me, what do you think? Does Warden seal the deal for Revival? I mean, that's a lot of regen.
No. So here's the deal. I'm gonna go. Listen, I don't like stats. You've already heard me. I like to talk about player mentality, but there's one stat that I in myself love to say. I love 7. I can't play shooters for crap. I play ability casters. I love 7. I play 7 all day long. I don't like seeing 7 here. I really don't like seeing 7 here. Hydra Nation has so many ways to catch them out. Warden actually makes sense, somewhat. The reason being, there's not much else like beefiness that you can bring to the table. Revival are relatively, they're a little bit on the squishier side. They have great mobility. So the Warden, you kind of scrape the bottom of the barrel. The 7 scares me a lot. 7 needs time to ramp up, and you're facing off against a squad that quite literally dominates in the early game to take over. This, I feel, is going to be rough. And I love my boy 7. I love 7. I love seeing 7s win. I love seeing the electricity come out. I have a feeling that pick may not have a fun time here.
Yeah.
You might be right. I think that 7 into Dynamo and Lash is it's ballsy to say the least.
Yeah.
I will say, 7, the main gripe I have with this character right now is, okay, his ultimate is supposed to really combo well with the Kelvin. It's supposed to do a lot of good synergy with his team. The problem is that works if the enemy team doesn't have high damage.
Yeah.
It's Hydra Nation. They have the high damage. They're just going, oh, look, there's a 7 in the sky becoming a little disco ball.
Yeah.
He pops. He's gone. So it's like that's what I'm going to be seeing. So overall, though, the Warden, that ultimate has been used by Revival, or actually by the last team, TF2 Boomers, to really save their team in those hectic team fights. So there's a potential that they can try to reduce the amount of overall damage that was getting thrown out. But let's be honest, guys. It's Hydra Nation versus Revival.
Yep.
We're going to be seeing that matchup. It's going to be interesting early game.
Potentially, we'll see it 3 times, but here, before we get into this, let me ask both of you guys. Orbital, first you. But same question as you asked us last time. No backgrounds, no history, no storyline. Which of these 2 teams jumps out at you, based on the draft?
You can't ask me to rip the name tags off of these players in the grand finals. Like that's not cool. That's so mean to do. And you put me on the stand when Edu asked the question last. Bro, you are throwing me under the bus right now.
It's coming for him. Don't you worry.
Okay. Listen, on paper, I have seen the Paradox do so much work. On paper, Paradox is the one character that I actually look at and say, if there's ever a pick, you are screwed. Like, Paradox loves pick potential. And you look on the other side, these are all squishies. Like, the Warden can be a little bit beefy, and you can yell at me all you want, but it's like, they're squishy. Revival do not have the HP, I think, to deal with this. On paper, I'm looking at Hydra Nation. Any one of them can take a 1v2 mid-game if they have enough skills. So I'm looking at Hydra Nation saying, I love their comp.
Okay, that's one for Hydra Nation. Educautious, tell us what you got before we head into this one.
I'm a Dynamo main. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. I like Dynamo. I like Paradox. If their head looks like a light bulb, they have the right idea. So that's what I want to be seeing from these guys. They're just, that's it. Hydra Nation has the better comp. It's night and day unless you have this Kelvin pop off. And
true.
It's the Kelvin.
Well, okay. If their head looks like a light bulb, what if their head is a light bulb in 7? Like, his head is, I feel like, just straight up a light bulb. What do you think?
He looks
They
like
wouldn't
a
be powered
chandelier
without 7.
installed improperly. I'm sorry. He just, no. I respect Revival's comeback. I respect the path that they have burrowed through to crawl back to the grand finals.
All right, well,
Good
fellas,
luck.
we're going to jump right into game number 1 of our 3 maps. Go ahead and take it away.
I have never heard such disrespect. Like, I disrespect 7, but I've never heard that type of disrespect thrown there at you. But I appreciate that one. I'm not gonna lie. I might have to use that. A chandelier installed improperly is a wild statement to use.
But that's exactly what he looks like.
It's about to be improperly installed. Like, this game may be a chandelier on the ground.
Oh, dude, and already we're seeing the harassment. Infernus is saying, okay, I'm not even gonna, why even attack the Guardian when I got you guarding it? It's just like, looking at this game, you know that it's gonna be about the ganks early. The Abrams is already ganking.
Oh my god. It took, what, 3 seconds? We saw that swap around. We saw the little leap from the side, and now you get free push potential. HP department for the Abrams is a little bit low, but you got coverage thanks to the Paradox in the pocket. Now you get to jump forward a little bit more. Again, clear out those little creeps and be able to gather up the souls. In the meantime, we're already seeing the pocket get dropped low. Now it's swapping over to the Mirage as they're caught out in a little bit of no man's land, but you're chasing it back just as well, as that's going to be killed down. And actually, it's first blood over to Fickle Frog. The Kelvin showing up big.
All right, well, maybe we just have to jinx them enough and they can actually start popping off, maybe stay cool, calm, and collected like they should. But at the end of the day, we are also looking at the Dynamo, who's going to be low. It's that lane in general is having a little bit of a rough time, but I'm also looking at the Warden. If you're looking at this early game, we've talked about it how many times. It's not about first blood. It's about second. It's about third. It's about who keeps up the momentum.
I like that you call that out. I mean, we really do, because I think for this Kelvin player, Fickle Frog, they're also trying to remedy past mistakes now as you are chasing forward. The laser being doing so much work. Ice, put them on ice and more. But again, right now for Fickle, you are trying to make up for the previous games. You had a not so fun time, and you're trying to prove to everyone that you can still play this character. And I appreciate it. You go ahead and bring it down, you get a kill. Now you're going to be given a lot of longevity, but you have to get away, and you walk right into a wall. Oh gosh, you dash into a wall, and I think that might or might not spell your doom. You're living on about 175. A little bit of punch now as we zoom over to the mid left side, the inner left lane, as this is that Lash throwing down a bit of damage.
Wow. Just so clean here, and we do have the picks of who's playing what. So Hydra Nation, Hydration, the main namesake of this team, is actually locking in the Lash. You have DMB, who is on the Mirage, locking in the Wraith. Flick back again on the Deadlock. Rocker rocking this pick here that we're looking at now, the Abrams. And of course, Leafa, definitely not a toxic player, locking in the Infernus here with that very just versatile and high mobility DPS. So honestly, looking at who's on what, this is a very interesting game.
Bring about that damage as much as possible. Right now, high ground, though, controlled by Revival. They're getting a little bit antsy, and I actually really like this. I also always want to touch on the fact that sometimes individual playstyle and team compositional playstyle do breed a little bit of a difference. Remember, Revival, they they were able to do some work last time, but it took a long time because the likes of Tier 2 Boomers like to play a little bit more standard. They played a little bit more beefy, and yet Hydra Nation play at a much faster rate. Maybe Revival enjoy this fact, and they're able to find early kills once again. Right now, a little bit of a battle inside of that inner left side on the side of Revival. However, they lose one. The Kelvin goes down very, very quickly, and now you get to chase even more. Hydration, though, running for their life. The Latch is trying to stay alive. Inside the pocket you go, but the pocket does not hold up. Yes, it does. Alju says it's all me. And a couple more kills land their way out as Revival go ahead and regroup.
Yeah, so 1-for-1 trade here, losing Lash for the Kelvin. Not exactly worth it there, but at the end of the day, they are starting a comeback. You have a lot of farm being made here. The Paradox kind of left alone to just keep farming in a 1v1 against the Ivy. Pretty good if you're this Paradox. Right now, rocking and tied with the Ivy for just consistent farming. But wait a minute, the Ivy is now battling out against these guys and might see a pickup here if we can have a gank coming around as... Wait, ooh, is that Mirage all alone?
Yeah. Nope. Definitely not alone as Wraith goes down. That was the most brutal answer to a question I've ever heard, Edju.
I meant to say Wraith, but wow, they got absolutely melted there. Jeez, I was looking at the mini map and I'm like, huh, there seems to be a lot of motion over on that quadrant, and just shattering them through. So, you know, Orbital, what we got right now is a decent back and forth from both of these teams, but Revival, they're starting off with a decent amount of picks, but oh, here's the Chandelier. Oh, yep. He lives.
Well, barely. I mean, the Chandelier is hanging on by like a single chain, and you're like, okay, that kind of sucks. Even through the wall, you're like, okay, this kind of hurts. And once again, we talk about this 7, even against the Abrams. Abrams well known as kind of that bully, but has to get a little bit closer. 7 can't do much. Sitting on 2.5 already, flagging behind about 600 in the Souls department. It's a rough spot to be in.
There you go. Rough spot. You have a rough Warden, but Abrams, is he dead? Look at his HP. Are we actually going to see that player fall?
I mean, the seismic slam, it was
chasing.
there. Yeah, the slam was there. Now they go ahead and harken through, but it looks like you are a little bit safe. Yeah, Mirage doesn't want to chase too far in fear of you might get caught out a little bit off sides. 278 and more. You are going to heal up, so thankfully at this point you are safe. However, there's a fight underneath one of the Guardians right now. As out you go, the Wraith once again getting challenged on the wrong side of the map, and you are locked up. CC is good and golden. However, Fickle says, please give me even more. DME goes down, Quick falls just as quickly, and Leafa also loses their own life. Hydra Nation get walloped in the sides.
Wow, I mean, Hydra Nation, okay, really showcasing that maybe the early game was not in their favor. You know, you look at DMB, this player now on the Wraith. They were previously farming first bloods and absolutely bullying a Warden, as Mirage apparently switching characters is not the best move for them, as they have lost in the positioning department twice now. So already we're seeing a lead start being gathered. We're seeing a 2K deficit, and hopefully we could see more of that momentum being moved over for Revival, as maybe they don't need a late game clutch. Maybe they could just do it in the early game.
Now, granted, I do want to point out that there was a 2K kills for Revival, but it was on the opposite side of the map. Hydra Nation were actually the ones that initiated that fight and maybe got a little bit too big in there. But the overall pressure is still available. That's why we saw the Guardian just now go down for Hydra Nation. They said it's perfect. We're still pushing. We're not too worried. Lash, though, getting chunked out here. And right now, watching the Abrams, and they chase away. Goober goes down. This storming of the front on the right side of your screen gives Rocker a kill of their own, and the Abrams is going to start looking more and more threatening.
More threatening. Paradox very low here, and we talk about the Paradox's damage output, but I'm looking at the Lash now, who actually might be able to punish this, but nope. We'll have to bail, and ooh, good stun. Good CC coming around, but the teammate, it's the Dynamo flying on in and just getting a pick without taking anything, thanks to help with the Infernus. Great ganks there, and they're starting it up, but will we see the Kelvin start to maybe make a transfer? I'm seeing that they're pinging each other, but no, it's just going to be more of these objectives to be taken.
At this point, I think Hydra Nation, they say, okay, we can't be going for those risky plays. We do need to lock down some of these Guardians, start opening up space for the rest of us to follow through. Remember, in the previous game, they actually had all 4 Guardians, I believe, down at this point in their winners finals match. They were able to break through the base pretty quickly. They were able to open up some of those extra items in pocket. You can see here, though, a little bit of a transfer that you were talking about is actually towards the outer lane, as we got a little bit of a fight here. The Abrams trying to dance their way out, and they are going to back away. The Paradox, though, running up the front side as Goober is going to go down here. First kill is good. And now you get a chase for even more as a laser underneath. Rundas getting very low, and that's going to be the burn. Leafa says, watch this. Let me burn the world and more.
Wow, I mean, but Quig there, using that, honestly, almost saved the Abrams because they got their team to stop shooting at him. But now it's the Kelvin jumping on in, and Jesus, this guy's beaming him right now. Another pick for DMB, though, and we're seeing the Mirage now fall, but this Kelvin's on a 3K spree, and this is why people love this character. You either pop off or you get shut down, and that's the trade-off here for the Kelvin to keep their team in this game.
Well, remember, I feel like the trade-off is even more than that. Yes, the Kelvin is getting kills, but it almost feels like cleanup because on the other side, Hydra Nation were getting kills left, right, and center. And so even though Kelvin is up 6K, matching the rest of the team, you're actually looking at a 44 versus 39 right now inside of the Icy Dome. You're bringing about some death, but the 7 was not ready, and instead, you're chased out and away. The Kelvin says, yo, watch me right now. 7 goes down, and all of a sudden, Kelvin has to run. The ice is being melted as the Paradox walks on through. The chase is the catch. The stun is good, and Rocker rocks the socks off of Fickle.
Wow, huge. And there goes the spree for this Fickle Frog, unfortunately finding out with a pick from this Wraith. And now we're looking at the rest of this team trying to group up, find some more picks, and a team fight brewing in the mid. Will we actually see anybody get locked down with the CC? The answer is no, and just more objectives, more for a flex slot to just set this team up.
I mean, that airdrop was really just like a warning to the storming of the base. And honestly, Hydra Nation are like, that doesn't stop us. We wait 3 seconds and we're good. We're out. They still push forward. The side lanes are actually in pretty comfortable position. I think the only outer one is the outer left that they would maybe have to worry about. But there's plenty of HP. Now with the urn up, though, you do want to go ahead and gather up for yourself even more of an urn charge. And you can see here, it is building up. Unkillable is the Paradox. Unkillable is the Abrams. And on the other side, Revival. I mean, you know, the pocket's doing okay, but the rest all hurting.
Yeah, just hurting a decent chunk of change now, not really doing too much to really bounce this back, but they're trying to jump here onto one of these characters. But at the end of the day, the urn is now going to get picked up. Remember, this is the biggest turnaround here, but the Kelvin's slowing these players down. You have to get these guys, but no, you're kind of not doing enough. You don't have the CC to slow them back down, and you open up the door, open up the map, and they're going to take out a walker because of that space created.
I love that call. Listen, they are, for Revival, they are rotating Kelvin around. This is the appropriate call. Kelvin is strong. Rotate him on the forefront. Make sure that the Kelvin is always there, ready to fight. The airdrop comes in once again as they move this urn over, and I don't think Hydra Nation are going to be able to really do anything. They're going to try and challenge with only a few members there, but the slam down brings about so much pain, and the Lash, I don't think, wants to be here, so Revival are saying, yo, what's happening? But the Kelvin is actually dropped low. That's going to be the kill. Flick says, yo, let me flick on some heads. Bring me that damage. A little bit of a claw to keep the Wraith in tow. But of course, the urn is still being fought over, and this is damaging, by the way. Hydra Nation are able to stop them in their tracks. Well played. Hydra Nation deny this. A drop, and down goes the Ivy. Once again, decimation by Hydra Nation in the most enclosed spot. They lead off, and Revival have to revive and spawn.
Oh, and with that, they also take the soul urn. They get the cash. They get the monies. And they keep the lead. It's 30,000 difference. And wow, Revival needed that urn. Remember, in that lower final, they need this objective to secure their way to bounce back. And with that misplay of them handing it over with 3 deaths, I think that seals their deal. As there goes Grave. In the grave, 6 feet under. It's a Mirage gone.
I'd also like to point out the Abrams on the far end. Hydra Nation, that entire urn battle was pushing on the outer right and actually got a solo kill out there. So Revival not only lost the initial team fight, but they lost the hold over the Walker. That's why we see this expansive 3 Walkers gone in that blink in the last about 2 minutes. Hydra Nation right back in tow of saying, we're still in control early game, slightly messier than we would have liked, but we still have the equipment charge. We're going to go ahead, break through all these boxes, go ahead, chase down all of those camps inside of the jungle roots, and they're more than happy about the current state of the game.
Wow, just wow. They're happy about this for sure here, Orbital, but at the end of the day, I'm also going to see an urn can get back in. They've tried to make a comeback, but if they're just losing another Ivy like that, the time to kill, the TTK, they're completely, totally knocked out. And there we go. The pocket now flying in, but you look at this, it's just pick after pick after pick. And finally, we might see a nice Guardian fall. The first Guardian down, but you got one. What's it worth? Your entire team's life?
Yes, that's what Hydra Nation says. They say yes. There's so much damage coming out here. You're not allowed to take the crown or even a piece of the lands. This is Hydra Nation throwing down with the best of them. And they take 3 lives while taking the mid boss as well. Hydra Nation are wasting no time and taking what is theirs.
They're taking it, they're winning it, and they are playing this game beautifully. Remember, this is a best of 3, so it's not going to be just a one and done like we've seen the past games go, as now Rejuvenator is online, but we're getting close to GG time, as in that upper finals, they won in 15 minutes. That's a minute and 15 seconds away.
I mean, this is glorious stuff here. In Hydra Nation, I want to see him just brute force. I love whenever I see teams brute force. They always look so good while doing it. And Hydra Nation have been really on point with it as well. They have actively been working at, you know, even if they're in side lanes, they push at the same time. They don't allow any of their covers to be really offsides, and that's why we're seeing this here. Ray trying to chase down one, and it is going to be that closeout. Down goes the Warden. The jail is broken open, and now you get even more a storming of the inner right side. These poor base bosses will be no longer for the world.
Here we go. Base boss falls. We're seeing maybe a potential. Oh, but sniped by the Paradox. You're out of there. Oh, and the teabag comes in around 2 by Flick. Oh, huge. But Kelvin beaming up and might be able to get some kind of slows, but it's the Wraith to just go, yeah, you're not in this game anymore. The damage output, it's just too high. And there goes the Mirage. Now the base boss is your next target here. But no, if people are flying right past him to finish more damage, and they get the pocket. They don't even care what's in front of them objective-wise. The enemy team is the objective, and they are farming right now.
The walls are down here. Hydra Nation once again decimating their opponents. Revival forced to stay inside their barrel of a home. Down go the shrines and more. Hydra Nation say no one will stop us. Everyone brings about pain. Revival revive for one last fight, but the Ivy goes straight back to the gray screen. You ain't watching anything. An icy path for the spectators that are Revival here in game 1. Bring it onto the base. Draw them out. You are fighting us. And that is a singularity to bring them all to doom. You are forced to witness your demise. Hydra Nation, watch out 5.
Oh my god, that lash was just so good. And this is it. The Patron's transforming to a dead one. What a game. 6 players are gone. It's just now time to finish it. And yeah, it wasn't 15 minutes, but it sure will be 16, as there's nobody alive to stop this. The Ivy's trying to distract, but all you're doing is getting Wraith going into the base to kill someone.
You wanted 8 kills. You really wanted 8 kills, apparently. I have,
Christ.
You know, we talked about the timing. I have never seen a Lash be so pissed at spectators to literally yank them out of their seats and throw them to the ground. That is Hydra Nation doing Hydra Nation things.
I mean, Orbital, it's why Lash's only description in the game is Lash is an asshole. That's why. It doesn't change. That play is why. He did. Lash is just what? And yeah, of course, most souls after that play. But Jesus, it's crazy to me that they were able to dominate with that style of fashion.
I mean, you take a look at the souls as well. Might not be the full Eclipse 70 to 126, but it felt like it. And again, one of my big worries came to pass. It was the fact that they were a little bit squishy. Granted, Revival fought hard in the early game. We did see some of those kills come through, but they were consolations. They were kills for kills' sake, and the souls didn't really swing their way at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, the kills didn't go their way, but what did go their way was, of course, they picked characters and they played the game. The Kelvin this time showed up. That's one thing I have to acknowledge is Revival started that very strong. They had a lot of the early game kills. They were keeping up momentum, but something happened. And I think you know exactly what it was. It was that earn play that they love doing, completely counteracting their chance at recovery, because Jesus, that gank on the earn single-handedly just knocked Hydra Nation all the way back up. It was a huge team fight. The Ivy got killed twice, and then the Ivy farmed over and over again. So let's get Big D on here. Let's see what Big D's opinion of this is. Let's get Big D.
Well,
Big
let me in, fellas. Yeah, let me tell you what I just saw. Educautious, they did pick some characters and they did play the game. My God, and Hydra Nation just continued dominance. I mean, that Revival just didn't even have a chance in that one. That 7 needs to farm, and 7 did not ever get a chance to farm once in that game. Not even once.
Again, I love the character. I love 7 to death, and there are some good moments where you can take the win, but you have to be able to identify that the game is going to go towards a long game. You have to be able to sit there and say, we're going to go to 25 minutes, 27. I'm going to be able to get all items fully spirit out. That's where you play 7. You don't play it in a match where you know the team's going to be running and gunning pretty much from minute 1. And is going to try and push you into the ground. Like that's just how it goes. And again, I will play 7 all day long in ranked, and I'll be honest, I don't do that because I don't want to make anyone upset and get DDoS or something. But it's like picking 7 at that point was a little bit rough. Honestly, though, everyone kind of faltered. We saw the likes of Hydra Nation. It wasn't just a 7; it was every lane felt like they were being eclipsed after about minute 7 or 8.
Yeah.
I'm going to add Hydra Nation. If you remember the mid-boss timing, the lane controls, they had 2 people kill 3 players for free, and then they were still taking mid-boss. They were in 2 places at once and making it work. So I think that they were just really good at controlling space.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean, you hope for closer grand finals than that when you're watching these kinds of tournaments, but Hydra Nation is just making it an absolutely one-sided event. So it'll be curious to see how it goes in Game 2. But before we go to Game 2, we are going to cut to a quick 3-minute break. So join us here after that and stay tuned. Welcome back one more time, potentially the last time. Hopefully we'll see Map 3, but we're going to be headed into Map 2 for our grand finals of the Deadlock Core 4, sponsored by Misfit Gaming Corporation. Orbital, Edu, that was an absolute blowout in Map 1. We were talking a little bit about it during the break, but is there any chance for Revival to make a comeback here in Map 2, or is this a quick 2-0?
I think that there's a chance. I'm not going to rule them out. Obviously, we're in the grand finals for a reason. Will it be a quick 2-0? Will it be a 16, 15, 14-minute game? Maybe. It's up to how they play. They made a few misplays there in that last game, going for the earn when they were just about having the lead. Obviously, they were very proactive with that objective, but at the cost of it, cost them the game. It was that one mistake, that one team fight, and then also the incredibly numbered of staggered Ivy deaths really just fueled Hydra Nation there. So if they stop doing that, if they keep playing good, and if they have the Kelvin pop off early again, they should be fine. But also, it's kind of like a rule set in Dota. The support shouldn't be getting the final blows. It's also a thing for League. Any MOBA. That Kelvin was getting all the final blows. Give it to the guys who actually can scale. So that might be another misplay.
Yeah, don't, they just have to work on their laning, their shooting, their aim, their rotation, and, just keep rolling down that hill. But, I will say for their own, they were able to pick up on mistakes. Some of the early mistakes of Hydra Nation. The reason that we even got to the point where it felt like Hydra Nation had to make kind of that earn gank play, and it felt so even leading up to it, is Hydra Nation did overstep a little bit. They were chasing behind Guardians. They were, putting themselves up a little bit too far. They were testing the waters. But Revival were able to identify that. That's what puts Revival a leg up, in my opinion. They're able to punish some mistakes. Now, how many more mistakes are going to come down? I think 1, maybe, from Hydra Nation. I don't think they're going to make that happen again. For Revival, they need to look at making their own opportunities this time around, which is a much higher step than they were in previous games. So, I still say it's a 10% chance. I think it can happen, but again, if it's a 10% chance that wins, it's going to be off some crazy plays.
Yeah, I think my percentage chance dropped a little bit as well, watching the way Hydra Nation just absolutely handled them from start to finish there. Like you said, there were a couple of mistakes that were punished by Revival, but Hydra Nation has just continued to showcase dominance. I know I sound like a broken record when I say that, but let's get into this draft for number 2. It's looking a little familiar to these other drafts we've seen. We see that Viscous ban, we see the Yamato ban, and then that Paradox first pick, but this time on the side of Revival.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Revival sniping Paradox from Hydra Nation is going to be a big moment of contention there. I will say, though, Hydra Nation picking up a pocket I can completely understand why Pocket versus Paradox, very similar in escape style and not exactly similar in too much of the damage output. Paradox is Paradox for a reason. She just goes on top. But if I were to put them underneath, you combo Pocket with Abrams, you might be able to have some fun here. But overall, I think Revival is going to try to just, instead of banning the characters that the enemy team plays, picking the characters that the enemy team plays, grabbing the Paradox, grabbing the Infernus. This is looking really good.
Okay. Here's the deal.
Wait.
Producer, please tell me if I know it's not, but like I swear Hydra Nation is still actually on the Amber side, but that is actually Revival's picks. So there's a difference between trying to take away some of your opponent's picks and then completely copying. There's a difference between being able to pull off a copy and being able to like mold a composition to your playstyle. Just raw picking the heroes that your opponent plays is actually very scary. And if they pick a fourth that leans into Hydra Nation's game 1 style, I'm actually really scared. The Wraith comes out, Hydra Nation are going to show that they can play a different style. Revival, you're putting yourself on another game of very squishy characters, and I don't like the outcome of it.
Yeah, I mean, you know that Revival hasn't really showcased that they know or are confident with this comp. This is the mirror match of the upper finals, but Revival is taking Hydra Nation's pick. So honestly, Hydra Nation, they realize, okay, the enemy team's ideals here are take the characters we're good at, see if we can't flex. But Hydra Nation has proven to be a very decent team at changing things up sometimes. I wouldn't be surprised if Hydra Nation actually locks in a Kelvin here and just runs that. But I also think that they might need to start focusing up on some damage. One thing that I saw being banned in the last tournament Hydra Nation was playing a lot in was Grey Talon, kind of like that. But I'll be right about the Kelvin, locking that in. But Hydra Nation needs to find those damage-dealing characters that,
oh my God,
you saw Flick wanting to be on.
Yeah, they do.
I just want to say, I pray Hydra Nation brings out 7 just for the memes.
Oh my God, no. No.
I mean, it feels like we're just getting kind of a little mix and match of last game. Revival is definitely sneaking a couple of those picks off, but Hydra Nation still quite comfortable with their draft. It feels like Pocket, Abrams, Wraith, those are still super high impact characters that from the last game. I mean, I know that Paradox is strong. I know that Infernus does a lot to set up and scales well. I know that Mirage is strong, but they're not Pocket, Abrams, and Wraith, who have been proven over and over again through multiple patches and even through today to just be an unstoppable force.
Yeah, unstoppable force meets the asshole, meets Lash, bringing him out, pulling this character out of here. Honestly, Lash as well. Is this just Revival's attempt at taking everything Hydra Nation plays? I don't see them doing anything that I've seen them confident in.
Do the 7.
If
do
Hydra
the
Nation
7.
grabs 7,
Do
it's gonna
the
be
7. Oh no,
Warden.
it's Warden. I want to see that 7. Please, Hydra Nation, do it for the memes.
It could happen.
Oh, a Shiv.
Oh,
Okay.
let's go. Let's go.
Something new.
Bring
Shiv
out
has
that's 4 DPS. Just bring them all to pain right now, man.
That's a little bit. Here's the problem with the Revival lineup right now.
Okay.
It's Hydra Nation's game. I mean, that's how it feels. Just looking at these two lineups, Revival's got a lot of steals there. They took a lot of comfort picks, and they got a lot of damage on this side. But where is the sustain? Who is going to survive through these fights? Maybe Shiv will be able to do that. Maybe Ivy provides a little bit of support, but there's no real tanky frontliner on the side of Revival.
Yeah, I will say maybe the Lash, especially with the Lash's ultimate, but we saw Hydra Nation rock the Lash because it comboed well with the Dynamo. That ulting, taking everybody out of spawn, throwing them into a singularity. Where's the combo? What is this Lash going to throw them into? An Ivy Slam? An Infernus ultimate? It's like, it's not the same punch. It's not the same girth to it. It's just not going to feel the same here, Big D. It's not. And Hydra Nation is going to be running some funny moments with the Bebop. The Bebop is something that, okay, I'm an Ivy. I can fly away. No, you can't. Claw out of the sky. It's like, what's going to happen here?
I think you're right. Lash has nobody that wants to follow up on those throws.
I mean, this is. I also want to point out the 6th pick for Hydra Nation is by far the best disruptor that I think I could have picked for a like 4 squishy style. Bebop has gotten continuously nerfed recently. I mean, Bebop was so big previously, like huge, being that mainstay kind of in every composition, and then it got nerfed a few times, and recently it's fallen out of meta. That's why we're seeing it right now. But in a situation where, one, you know you can throw some annoyances the other way, but this is like the straight up pick. Edgy, you were mentioning before that Hydra Nation loves playing pick comp. This is like the pick comp of pick comp. You literally grab someone and just like, screw you. You're not going anywhere else, and you have so many targets to choose from. Normally, it's only 2 or 3 that you'd be able to pick from. Normally, you'd only be like 2 or 3 carries, and they'd be body blocked in there. You now have 4, and no one is standing in front of them. Ain't nobody gonna block if like a Marauder, because no one else wants to die. No one else wants to protect. If you get hooked, anyone on Revival is like, you're on your own. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I can't wait to see how this game's going to go. I'm expecting good things from the Shiv, because that's the first time we're seeing the Shiv today. Outside of that, Revival might need a revive after this. It's gonna look a little bit rough, and you know this would be flawless from Hydra Nation, a perfect set all the way through the bracket. So I don't know, Hydra Nation not wanting to drop anything here. Looks like we got in live chat who's gonna be on what. I'm shocked. I thought that Flick was going to be on Pocket and Rocker was going to be running the Abrams again, but they've switched roles. It's actually Flick on the Abrams and Rocker on the Pocket, so they're just having some fun with it.
Well, 2, but potentially the last. Go ahead and take it away for us, folks.
Oh man, Ed, I don't. As soon as I see my opponents swapping around heroes, I'm like, I hate life, man. That's all I would ever say, you know? My mental will be broken. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, Bebop in the game now, and one of my favorite builds for Bebop is hook and then a ton of just melee damage and just beating up people. It's so fun. So seeing what this Bebop's actually going to be building here, if we get to see it, I mean, they could go Spirit Bebop or Cooldown Bebop is another really funny build where you just have hook after hook and people can't leave because the cooldown is about as long as the CC your team with Kelvin can bring you. So seeing what this Bebop's going to build is going to be very fun to witness. Hydra Nation, they're here to have fun. They've already showcased in the entirety of the tournament that they are the dominant team.
All I can imagine is the Bebop pulls someone into the Kelvin ult, and all you hear is, let him get up, let him get up. It's just like, oh, nope, you're not letting that happen. It is brutality. If it's an option. Right now, we are seeing those dances. As you mentioned, the Wraith on Hydra Nation. Once again, this is falling into that situation of Hydra Nation maybe get a little bit over-aggressive and lose a little bit of HP, and especially in a pure 1v1. We aren't seeing a lot of those rotations come out for Hydra Nation just yet. On the high ground, though, this Kelvin saying, let's beam them down as much as possible. Getting low, sitting about 380. But that's Fickle Frog and Goober to actually waylay in and take 2 for their names.
Here we go. Taking 2, and already we're seeing a decent setup, but I want to now see, again, who's going to be able to keep this momentum. Early game, Revival's very good at popping off, especially with this kind of team comp, but big slam from Ivy. Good escape potential from this character, too. Again, it's going to come down to Revival's ability to keep the momentum and not allow Hydra Nation to farm 1 or 2 of their players.
Yep, this is all about how hard can you basically press W. This is what this comp wants to do. Revival doesn't want to stop. They want to run over the opponent, and they're hoping to do so. Granted, the Abrams versus Infernus, I mean, we've seen the Abrams do a lot of work, and I love this dance on the side, really ensuring that you don't lose too much HP, but continuing to keep that cleanup right now. The Paradox, though, running for their own, saying, okay, I don't want to be up here without any real protection, so I'm going to back up with my helper in the back line, but the Ivy on the edge saying, let's keep farming, we're golden, we're good.
Golden good gaming. These guys are going to have a good time here as long as a little bit of a pause. Audio lost sound. Welcome to new game. Yeah, they can't. If you got no audio and there's a Bebop behind you, it's gonna be a funny game because you can't hear the hook. You're just gonna get grabbed.
I thought Halloween passed already, Ed. Like, what are we talking about? I don't want any of that right now.
Jesus.
You turn around to a metal machine like straight in your face. Like, bro, I would simply
What did
pass
Ivy
away.
just say? Audio or what? I guess
We're
gonna
not
have to
touching that with the 10-foot pole. Let's back away, because again, we're starting out with the same scenario of, once again, Revival getting some early kills, but this time it wasn't the accidental mistakes. If I'm not mistaken, it was in the inner right lane. It was a very well done fight. It was the Paradox getting some clean hits and some clean kills.
Yeah, I mean, right now, it seems very familiar to our last game, where it is Revival starting off pretty strong. If they could fix the audio, which they are right now, they're reconnecting to get that. I think there's a command that used to work back when this happened for Source 1. I'm not sure how Source 2 works, but if you type in stop sound, it resets sound. It's how you used to fix the bugs in Gary's mod when you just kept hearing the map scream in your ears. So if you type in stop sound in the console, it should fix the audio issue. But what is the plan here for these players? Well, looking at them, I know that one team's very favored in the early game and needs to keep momentum, and the other team has been struggling to keep momentum. So let's unpause this game. Let's get on into it. No audio still. Not fixed. SpaghettiOs. Oh, he didn't restart. Oh,
Okay.
good job. This is Smite.
It's the Smite. Oh, God. All right. So, getting back into this, I like the fact that you called
Is
it out.
Warden snapping his neck? Look at Warden. Sorry.
He's doing some calisthenics or something in there, man. He's just like stretching his neck. He really wants to. He really wants that. Look at that, man. Look at that. He's
That's
like,
how he punches?
yeah. It's a baller punch, by the way. Like, the dude's got muscles and a half. Have you seen it?
All right, let's get in the game.
All
Let's just
right.
get in it.
Sorry. So, taking a look at things, though. Taking a look, even though those early kills went down, as I mentioned before, this happened in game 1 almost to a T. Revival gets the kills, but the Soul Swing actually doesn't lean anywhere because Hydra Nation continue to maintain their farm advantage. And this is what I was talking about. Kills for just kills' sake does not matter in this game, and Revival cannot be thinking like that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to see this team really just pop off. Revival, though, as you said, needs to be thinking about the middle game. It's been their biggest strong suit in the lower bracket, weakest strong suit in the uppers. So here in the grand finals, they have to figure out a good Goldilocks zone between their play styles to actually benefit against a team like Hydra Nation. But Abrams just going for the corner checking, maybe wanting to jump on one of these players with some decent punches. But oof. I'm looking hopefully to Hydra Nation starting to get some picks as they're kind of lowering this lash down.
I mean, and I think Lash knows it as well. Just starting to play super far away, but you're not really doing any damage. Honestly, yeah, this is the better idea. Just go ahead, take, basically bite the bullet. You're just like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to survive. I'm not doing any damage. I need to back away. I need to heal up. So, right call, back away, give a little bit of space. Revival are back on top now as the Soul lead and fluctuation is waning between about 1 to 2. This is going to be Leafa, though. Saying hello, this is ours. Fickle goes down on the side, and that was a wild stance to have. Now a little bit further as well. This chase through is going to break out a fight. The Paradox is saying, please, give me a bit more. Revival looking for a bit of damage, and yes, they do. But the Bebop almost lives, getting a little bit of healing behind, and I cannot believe Hydra Nation keeps the metal robot alive.
Wow. I mean, Bebop's survivability is surprising there, but thanks to his team, he should be fine. But the pocket getting jumped on, will they be able to actually get out? Yeah, easily get out there. You still see a lot of Hydra Nation, this blue team now, just kind of poking, just kind of farming a little bit. They've already won game 1. They know that the Revival team is more prone to mistakes, so as long as they just stop with the deaths and start with the kills, they should be fine.
I mean, Flick's like, yo, let me put out that fire real quick. Alju says, though, the Shiv is going to grab someone. Grabs a kill in that 1v1. A beautifully executed kill.
Wow, just so smart. Such a solid play style here. I'm looking now, though, if we see the Shiv already start to just round out and match Goober, match this player with the Paradox being able to farm. That's 1-0, 1-0 for both of them, and they're shutting down the main DPS here. They're shutting down the Wraith. We can see a real turnaround, and this could be a game of the carries. Which team has the stronger carry? And Paradox is the strongest carry.
Well, if we want to see them maintain that strongest carry potential, they got to be able to push it as much as possible. That's going to be a little bit of a catch. Mirage sending forth their love and joy. But, of course, that chase behind leaves them a little bit wanting as the Shiv is going to run for their life. Get back to safety as we take a look at the Bebop just saying hello here. Yeah, no one really goes down, so it is going to be even all the way around. And I mean, we are seeing that collection, though. Right now in the far left side, Grave sent to the grave. Hydration says, please swap, brings them out, but right back in you go. Couple punches bring Hydration low, and down they go. 1 for 1 so far. Nothing else really in the bucket as the rest of Hydra Nation might get collapsed on as well. But Death from Beyond as DMB says, yo, you stepped up a little bit too far. Goober able to trade it back out, and these deaths are punches left and right. Goober gets a second. And it's a well-done fight. Revival win out in that cluster.
Wow. Revival taking the cake here, but it's Flick again. Fickle Frog just being the pick here. And yeah, are you gonna get out? Are you gonna get away? You're kiting it, and oh my god, you do, but it almost cost the Abrams. No, it does cost the Abrams his life. Alju getting the kills, Flick getting taken out. The pocket might be able to stay alive here, but the stun isn't enough. I think they do get out. I think they aren't gonna get caught up anymore.
This is drastically different from game 1, Edgy. This is 100% different than game 1. We are seeing this level of execution, Revival really kicking things up into a higher pace. They have the heroes available. They know they have to play at a faster pace, and they're doing it. That fight itself going even means Hydra Nation are starting to recognize that as well. They're not in the lead by a fair margin. They're not in the lead by 5 to 6K souls. They're neck and neck, and they're playing as such as well. These close fights will bring the name of the game down because I'm waiting for that Abrams. I'm waiting for that Kelvin. They can bring such a wombo to the table that it really feels like whoever catches each other first in close space will win the fight.
True. I completely agree with you here, Orbital. And right now, it's who gets the catches. And you think about who's doing the catching. This Bebop, we haven't really seen do a lot yet. They've still been kind of sticking to their lanes. They haven't really gone for any rotates quite yet to help out with the ganks. So they're just farming. And once this Bebop starts to decide, okay, my W key is for more than hitting creeps, they might be able to get some ganks going. And that could really put a wrench in Revival's plans here.
I mean, what? To be fair, I would like a tin can that beats the crap out of my opponent. And I don't have to use my own fist. So you know, if Bebop decides to go full damage, maybe there's something. Even though the ratio numbers are a little bit lower. Rocker though, sending Infernus down to the grave. Very nice job with that pocket. Now chasing back for the rest of the team as this Guardian's hitting quite low. There's the punch plus the uppercut, bringing people away from the fight.
Oh, and here's a real fight now for this map. It's just going to be a 2v2, but look at that. Abrams flying on in. The Mirage is so low. They're lowing down. It's the pocket burn, but is the Abrams going to be able to finish? No, the pocket can't do anything. They're both dead. 2 for the price of none here. And honestly, wait, no. Pocket bleed actually finishes the player off. And you look over at Ivy. If they can die, if Ivy can get shut down, then this is a 2 for 2.
Honestly, I like the fact that it's a bleed versus bleed situation. Both Pocket and Shiv wanting to ensure that they get those kills, and you really have to watch that ticker. But for right now, with the Soul Swing, Hydra Nation are starting to pull their lead up. A little bit of healing coming out with that Mirage as Revival are trying to farm up the camps. Hydra Nation are going to start kind of pushing their way in already. We already saw 3 Guardians fall in very quick succession. I think more to follow.
Yeah, more to go. And of course, I'm looking at this Kelvin here for the side of Hydra Nation. Again, starting to, just go for those lurks. We've seen a lot of their ultimates just taking a lot of space. And look at this guy's positioning. He's in between lanes right now, trying to spot someone out. If he can just capture one, look at who on his team is next to him. The total 4 players are ready to just jump on this Infernus. But will we see that happen? Looks like they're going for it. No, it's the Paradox. Can the Paradox get out? Yeah, they will.
This is going to be a little bit of a test here, I think. This is going to be spicy. I'm watching this go down because you can see this push. Bebop wants to push pretty dang hard, but it's like, how far are you actually going to get away with it? How far are you going to be able to run? With this shove, the rest of Revival hearkening to this battle, and they draw them all in. Very nice Paradox to bring them right back into the mix. But of course, you might be on the wrong side of the map right now. The Paradox is saying, oh crap, maybe you figured me out. Maybe it's not a Paradox. Maybe it's just my life. 300 and lower. What a charge to bring it. The pocket brings about doom once again. Briefcase on lock. And now there's more as the book swings hard. Look around, the slam is good, and Leafa drops the shiv. Decimation of Revival, and there is no reviving. The death screen is all you got.
Wow, just a beautiful team fight there from Hydra Nation. They found out, okay, here's a paradox. We take them, they have no damage. What are they to do? Just crippled, and crippled will continue. Now it's going to be the Pocket versus the Lash, and just a little bit of a tickle fight here. But again, it's the objectives that are going down one tick at a time. It's Flick getting to these picks, and now that's going to be a big opportunity. Another one, though, it's the kill. It is Goober grabbing a pick on a DMB and taking the urn.
And this urn, though, feels a little bit desperate. I mean, you're just slapping it on whoever. And remember, if you want to fight, you got to drop that urn and really make it for one. But Hydra Nation, they're kind of sticking around, but they're not really pushing. They're saying, hey, listen, we have enough of a soul lead. We don't have to fight for it if we don't want to. And now we see the breakaway. Okay, 2 being set up on this urn capture point. Is it going to work? In the meantime, the Warden trying to bring about some damage, but doesn't. Instead, falls down to Grave. This barrage. And it's working wonders now as the rest of the fight breaks out. In goes the DPS. DMB brings down Grave and now falls through with another as DMB is on a tear. The Wraith are bringing about anger and fear. DMB with 3. Get some more in there if you can. The Lash is about to be the last one on that belt. Frozen in time as there's a pause.
In the middle. Lash's game crashed. Of course, he's dead anyways. What's the point? But no, I get it. He'll come back with 11 HP. And he might be able to turn this around. Last time he Lash ulted, this happened too. So apparently his ultimate is crashing his PC. The toaster is not working. But honestly, shout outs to this Kelvin ultimate. It got everybody but the Paradox. And the Paradox is like, well, I gotta watch my team die inside the snow globe.
Yeah. It hurts, man. Oh, look at that. Reaching for safety. Sadness. Can you imagine what that's like? Like, just getting frostbitten like that. I don't know. Right now, death and glory is all it brings. Or maybe it's not. What? The Lash is still alive, by the way. Alju was able to find a flick, and that means there is a chance out. Are you kidding me? Revival able to break it out, but Rocker saying, hey, listen, I dropped the urn. Now we're ready to go. This is going to be the death that we were wondering. No, Alju once again sniping away another kill as the Bebop falls just as quickly. DMB, though, saying we still got the overall objective. Maybe we can collapse in. Pocket trying to collect, and maybe you get it. It is going to still be on the tables. Revival battling as hard as possible, but there's going to be the kill. Hydration saying, I will finish y'all off myself. Rocker brings Alju to their knees, and Hydra Nation says, screw whatever just happened. Bring about the Paradox. Paradox falls. It's 4. Hydra Nation finish what Revival started and claim the urn.
I gotta hand it to him. The fact that outside of the pause, they won the fight, but then when they went back in for the urn, the pocket clutch, the way that they just completely shattered every dream. This is Hydra Nation winning another urn fight that probably just determined the game here. But with 13 minutes 30 in, it's time for them to group. It's time for them to get into that mid game, the push style. It's time to take the space left on the map. And I mean, there's not much. They've already taken all the walkers. I think they just want to end. They want to fight over that mid boss and just win the game.
They want a perfect game as well. Damage has been done, but 0 Guardians taken by Revival. And it's only going to get worse with a kill on the ship and a draw out. What a hook! Bring him on close. The statue ain't gonna do anything as Ivy is annihilated. Fickle Frog is squashed outside of the pond. And that one hurts as Hydra Nation look at the base of bosses.
Wow, just insane. Now base bosses to be taken, mid bosses, just all the bosses right now is something on the main screen here. But ooh, Lash just farming that pretty quick. But at the end of the day, you're looking over at this team for Hydra Nation and they have all the space, but you look at the Lash trying to maybe, just maybe, wait, hold up, I just realized Revival doesn't have a single Guardian destroyed.
Yes, that was one of the things that I'm just watching for. It's They want a perfect game as much as possible.
Oh my god. They just lost another one. They just lost the Mirage again. How does Revival... okay, they were winning. I gotta ask you this. What was Hydra Nation's catalyst to give them the lead to start winning these fights so handedly? Is it just outplaying?
10 minutes passed and they said, okay, we gotta scoot up in our gamer chairs. You know, it's just a really good gamer chair, man. That's all it really is. Quite honestly, Lash, though, getting craned out and you're just gone. Like, Hydration is powering through. And honestly, I think it's the pick game. Once again, we're also seeing the fallacies of drafting 4 DPS out here. Revival don't have any CC, so they're left up to the whims of the kills, and Pocket is allowed a 7-kill streak. Honestly, Hydra Nation showing that compositions sometimes do matter in these scenarios.
I mean, this esports Reddit game is looking extra clean as we're going to see more and more just points being taken. Hopefully they can get enough space for them, but they're still down 30,000 points, or hell, 40,000 points of souls. If they're down 40,000 souls, I mean, they have to start going for more objectives like these walkers and like the urn in the hands of the warden. But unfortunately, the urn is in the hands of the warden. Revival has no chance at really grabbing it as it's already going to be cashed out. It's just like all the objectives are pretty much set in stone here. Here's an Abrams just going for a fight.
I mean, yeah, you're pissed. You lost a Guardian and a Walker in the same push. Nah, you're pissed. You are pissed. Hydra Nation, like, you don't get to do that for free. Absolutely freaking not. You take one back. Revival say, we got our ill-gotten gains, but now you have to fight over this mid-boss, and that's the Lash going, please, give us another Guardian, please. Give us a little bit of an influx, a little bit of a drop in, as that's the freeze and a half. Look at this Kelvin just saying, nah, you don't get this one easy. You go ahead and slam down, but the claw is going to grab your life. Another hook comes out of the bebop as that's a punch of glory. Rock comes in, rocks the show in the world. It's a 2-piece and then some, 3 dead total. Revival going, oh my god. This could be the end of the game.
Yeah, this definitely could be GG here. And yeah, I mean, they're spending more time talking in the chat than they are playing the game right now, because they just get absolutely farmed right here. But base bosses are now time to fall. Honestly, shout outs to Revival for trying this composition against this team. The base boss is going to be falling out here pretty dang quick, but I don't know. No, they're going right past it. They're diving through and they're going to try to punish.
I mean, they are doing the exact same thing that they did in game number 1. Quig and Rock are rocking the show, and its ever-ending show will be a giant finale. Revival, their lives once again lost, 3 down for at least 25. A final flex slot is unlocked, but is it really necessary? Hydra Nation say no.
Yeah, it's time for the patron to just get absolutely bullied here. And, you know, we're not going to be seeing another Lash combo ult, but we might be seeing some more damage here for this team. But looks like the hook is going to grab his teammate out. No, it's not the teammate. It's the Lash. And they did not use their ultimate to put him into spawn. Fickle Frog is dead. And that's going to be Alju dead. And that's going to be a spawn kill. You can't even be safe there. It's GG. The grand finals is just seconds from ending.
Hydra Nation saying a nation is built on victory, on the wins of the players that bring about, and they are saying no one can stop them. They have cleared their hurdles. They have gone undefeated in this Deadlock Core tournament number 4, and they are going to take their just rewards 2-0 in the grand finals, staring down at everyone else. The Amber Patron will fall, and it's GG to Hydra Nation, your champions here on the day. I say that with all my heart. Please finish the Amber Patron. I'm running out of breath. They want more kills. It actually looks like there might be a fight back as they lose two. Please don't. Please don't. Don't make it all for nothing.
The Kelvin has to finish it.
Oh my god. Please, no. No. No.
It ain't over yet. Don't count your eggs until they hatch or whatever. Don't count your chickens. Oh, the Pocket might be able to go in and finish it. That's the goal. He's going in. He's being stealthy. Can the Pocket finish the game? He's going high. It's just up to the Pocket, and I think he might try to go for it as he has enough damage. He definitely
he does. Please. I sound so dumb. This is gonna be a magic carpet. Oh my god, he's flying. He's flying. Does he get in? He's activated. He's running straight towards the end of the phase. Is he gonna make it? He dives right in. 3 shots, 2. It healed up a little bit too much. It healed up a little bit too much. CPS output is ho. You don't get it. You don't get it, Rocker. It lives on 1 once again.
No way. Okay, Abrams, your turn. Go. Your turn. Go, Abrams, go. It's your time to shine. All you have to do is just get on the point. Oh, another one spots him, but these Abrams booking it. It's so low. He just has to finish it 1 punch.
Oh my god.
But he's getting melted. Oh my god! The patron lives? No way. Wait, the Wraith!
Does he get it?
Okay. All right, just trickle down and win. Orbital, I see that you're out of it, but Jesus Christ, they just kept running over and over and over until it worked. If at first you don't succeed, try again. I gotta know Big D. I gotta see Big D's face about that. Come on, get on here.
I'm shocked. I honestly, I thought for a second Revival were going to shove them out of the base and we were going to go to game 3 and we were all going to have a good laugh about this between game 2 and 3. But then we just saw the battering ram come through at the end, character after character, Pocket into Abrams, into Wraith, coming through to finish off that patron. Absolute goofiness there at the end of our grand finals.
Absolute cinema. That's what that absolute cinema. I'm in shock. Honestly, that was Hydra Nation. They got silly, but I did mention before. Taking a look at the stats, you know, the Pocket was monstrous. But I said it before and I'll say it again. Revival have this uncanny style of finding life in the most dire of situations. Even though they didn't pull it out here. To be able to stave off 3 times, just a fraction of damage, is very heads up play. Like, that is very heads up of we are keeping scout, we're identifying if anyone's coming in. It was well thought out, but they were just too far gone. There is a point where it's just nigh impossible to deny everyone jumping in. I give them a lot of credit, but you can't stand up to emperors, to kings at the end of the day in Hydra Nation.
Yeah. I mean, Hydra Nations came into this set for the grand finals flawlessly. They showed, oh, it's TF2 Boomers beating them before, beating them again. Now it's Revival's turn to feel the pain, and they sure did. But honestly, Revival putting up a good fight at the end there, the trickle effect. But it's the little misplays. It's the fact that Hydra Nation just goes from, okay, it's a close game, and all of a sudden they're 20k up. When does that happen? I blink and they're above me every time. So they're just so dang clean with these guys. And honestly, it's been a blast here to commentate it because I just like seeing this team cook.
Yeah, it has been an absolute hoot. It has been an absolute pleasure. I mean, Hydra Nation have showcased their dominance once again. I know that's been the big D word associated with Hydra Nation, but I mean, there's no other way to describe how they played through this tournament. I know that we'll see more out of Llama Lords and Revival. I hope to see more of that storyline continue. Obviously, we're not done with the TF2 Boomers. They're still plugging away, making top 3, top 4 of these tournaments consistently. But for now, that is going to do it here for us at the Deadlock Core Tournament number 4. Our grand finalist winners being Hydra Nation, in case you weren't paying attention for the last 5 minutes. But Orbital, Educautious, thank you so much for joining us today. Shout out to Misfits Gaming Corporation as well for sponsoring this tournament. And I want to give a huge shout out to all of the behind the scenes workers as well, all of our production team, all of our observers, all of our admins, tournament organizers, everybody involved that's not here on screen or getting to yell about the game or whatever. They're doing a lot of work behind the scenes. So thank you to them as well. And thank you to all of you for tuning in